Hi, I'm Amy Bodkin, Special Needs Consultant at A Charlotte Mason Plenary, and I'm back here today to discuss with you Principles 14 and 15 from Charlotte Mason's 20 Principles. This is part of our free 20 Principles study available at A Charlotte Mason Plenary's website. If you haven't seen Rachel's video on Principles 14 and 15, definitely check it out. She digs in a little bit deeper into Charlotte's thoughts on these two principles. We're going to take a look at them today from more of a special needs developmental perspective. I like to divide the principles up into three sections. Principles 1 through 8 is more the body, how we treat children as physical beings. The principles 9 through 15 are more about how we treat children's mental minds. How do we care for them? And then the last few principles are how we care for the child's spirit, soul, and regard that. So today we will be finishing up the mind section. And without further ado, let's go ahead and dig into Principle 14. Principle 14, as knowledge is not assimilated until it is reproduced, children should tell back after a single reading or hearing, or should write on some part of what they have read. Now, so far, all of the principles we've talked about can easily be applied to any special needs child regardless of developmental ability. These two are more specific with regards to teaching, with regards to language. And so this is going to be somewhat limited depending on your child's language abilities. It doesn't mean that it doesn't apply. It just means that in this moment, it might not apply quite to the level of reading a book and narrating. But there is still things about it that are applicable to us. So with Principle 14, what she's writing about here is basically narration. And what she wrote about narration and how we visualize in the mind what we're talking about, that's something that was written about in scientific literature 100 years later. She knew about it 100 years before the research on the dual coding theory came out. And the dual coding theory is this idea that we make a visual movie in our mind of what we're reading about, and that helps us to comprehend, because memory is encoded visually, and we can't comprehend what we don't remember. The other side of that is symbol coding, and that's how we visualize letters, and that's how we learn to spell. Charlotte Mason also mentioned that in her volumes. So she already knew all of this. The important part of this principle for a special needs family, especially one where language isn't fully developed yet, is just the awareness that we can sometimes have a child who does not make movies in their head. And sometimes that can impact comprehension. So learning to point out pictures and using picture support can sometimes help supplement language development because it provides the pictures for the child. When we first started reading some of the more challenging children's books like Winnie the Pooh and Beatrix Potter, a lot of times we would start with a video of the story, a well-done video that stuck close to the book itself, because it gave my children a visual to help compensate for language deficits. And as they developed more language, they were able to slowly drop some of the visual supports, especially as they developed the ability to make their own movies in their minds. And then we have principle number 15. A single reading is insisted on because children have naturally great power of attention, but this force is dissipated by the rereading of passages, and also by questioning, summarizing, and the like. Acting upon these and some other points in the behavior of mind, we find that the educability of children is enormously greater than has hitherto been supposed, and is but little dependent on such circumstances as heredity and environment. Nor is the accuracy of this statement limited to clever children or to children of the educated classes. Thousands of children in elementary schools respond freely to this method, which is based on the behavior of mind. Yes, the educability of children is enormously greater than was previously supposed. When we provide children with the support that they need, they become able to do amazing things because they're getting what they need to be able to grow. It's like looking at your plant and going, oh, you need some more water today, or we need to put you in a little bit more direct sunlight today. So where's your child at today? What do they need next? I'm not asking you to sit down and read an entire Winnie the Pooh chapter with your child paying complete attention and narrating it perfectly. I'm asking you to think about where your child is today. How much can they focus on or remember today? Let's do that. And then maybe let's give them a little bit more of a challenge later when they're ready for it. Children are able to do so much when we provide them with what they need to grow. When children stop growing, oftentimes they are needing some nutrient. And if we can provide what they need, whether that's help in learning to make movies in their minds or using dramatized audiobooks to help them be able to learn to focus a little bit better. There are all kinds of supports to strengthen these skills in children as language is developing. Start where you're at and do just a little bit more as your child's ready. That's all you have to do. And if your child hasn't developed any language yet, these are still things to think about as far as what can we do to encourage language development. Can we sit down with one picture book and maybe we look at just one page because that's all the attention they have and point to different things and name them. Oh, look at that tree. It has red apples. Shared attention between your child. That is what helps develop language. It all comes back to the science of relations and communication, developing that beautiful relationship with your children. Thanks for joining me. Don't forget to click the bell and subscribe to the Plenary YouTube channel so you get notified about each video as it comes out. And I look forward to you joining me for the next several principles. Have a good day.